What's up, guys? So Konami has announced Rarity Collection 5, and that means I have to talk about it, give my impressions about what's already been revealed, and give some predictions for what I think is going to be in the set. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts, stick around. And so here we are with all of the reveals so far from the Konami website for Rarity Collection 5. As you can see, we have imports of the manga alternate arts from the OCG, and then we also have 4 confirmed Rarity Collection 5 reprints: Cashier Fenrir, Chaos Angel, Umbral Horror Masquerade, and Memento Combined Creation. All 4 of these cards were pulling pretty substantial prices on TCG Player. I have the lowest listings available right now, copy pasted onto the screen for you. This is post reprint announcement, so some of the impact is already being seen, namely with like Fenrir and Umbral Horror Masquerade, but I can see all 4 of these cards continuing to drop as we get to the release date of the set in April, and having luxury rarity printings will be excellent for players. If you made it this far, consider leaving a like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with my uploads and help support the channel. Thanks so much. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the predictions. Albion the Sanctifier Dragon is a fusion monster that currently has 2 secret rare printing. It's played in both branded and Draco Tail, and it's steadily increasing in price on TCG Player because it wasn't reprinted in the branded structure deck. One interesting thing about Albion is that it enforces a specific type of playstyle with its unique effect to summon a monster to your opponent's side of the field. You can use this for strong lockout effects that still exist in the advanced constructed metagame. For this reason, alongside the fact that it wasn't reprinted in the branded deck, we could infer that maybe Konami is planning to ban this card instead of keeping it around, and that would be an explanation as to why it hasn't gotten another printing. Moving right along to number 9, we have Mulcharmy Meowls. Now this is a little bit different because it was recently reprinted. We got a common printing in the legendary 5Ds decks, but due to supply chain issues or distribution problems or even just not enough production, this product is already being seen as a scalpable opportunity, unfortunately, and that means that the common printing of this card is going to go up rapidly. I have the 2 prices here. You have the common printing at $15 and you have the secret rare printing at $37.39. Additionally, this is the only Mulcharmy that hasn't been printed in collector rare yet. We have the Fualis collector rare from the Rarity Collection printing, and we have the Perulia collector rare from the Maze printing. Getting a collector rare Meowls would help players complete that set. There's never a bad reason to introduce another rarity of a staple card, and keeping more copies of Meowls in the card pool will help Konami keep the individual card prices down so more players can access the staple. At number 8, we have our first double up entry with Dominus Impulse and Dominus Purge. These cards were both reprinted in the most recent Megaton, but unfortunately, Konami elected to have them stay at their original printing rarity slot with a secret rare. What this decision resulted in was a stabilization of the price at a lower point than what they originally were calling for, but still now, both printings of each card is about the same, with Dominus Impulse pulling basically $40 prices and Purge reaching almost $25. I think these cards are perfect for reprint candidates because they define deck building strategies for mono attribute decks and decks that happily fall within the category of their restrictive parameters, like Enneacraft with Purge. If you want to learn more about that strategy, go check out my last video. I almost included Dominus Spiral alongside these 2, but I think it's just a little bit early for that card to be getting a reprint, and we can probably expect it in the next Megaton. Apologies in advance because I cannot stop with the hand traps, and at number 7 we have Retaliating Sea. This card has seen a lot of side deck play in the metagame against specifically Draco Tail, but moving into next year it will also be usable against Cool Tune because their quick play spell includes a synchro summon. Getting materials in the graveyard is important for these strategies, and Retaliating Sea is a proactive floodgate that you can play going second and shut down these more resource oriented graveyard centric decks. Another fun fact about Retaliating Sea is that it currently doesn't have any secret rare printing, it doesn't have a collector rare, and it doesn't have an ultimate rare. The best thing you can do is a Starlight, and I can see that rising if it doesn't get proactively reprinted again sometime soon. Moving right along to number 6, we are finally done with hand traps for the time being, but we are still in the side deck with Double Cyclone. This card kind of came out of nowhere as a side deck tech choice specifically for the Draco Tail matchup. You can use it to target your own card that's being targeted for negation by Flame, and then use it also to target your opponent's set back row because the Draco Tail strategy typically ends on multiple set pieces of interaction, and you use it to dodge the negation, deny the draw, and proactively remove another piece of interaction that they've invested in their end board. It's a great card for the matchup. It also has 0 foil printings right now. If you want to play this card, it must be common. And so yeah, It might not be exactly what we think of when we think of like a format-defining necessary reprint for a staple, but Rarity Collection is the perfect opportunity to upgrade this deserving card with a luxury printing. Let's get back in the extra deck with number 5. I have another double up. It's the Starham and Shamisen Samsara Sarokat. These are both level 3 synchro monsters that see play in the Yummy strategy, and they don't have luxury rarity printings available. The Starham only comes in common, and Samsara Sarokat only goes up to ultra. The Starham will also be playable in Synchron, which was supported in the 5Ds deck. Lastly, Sarokat is a synchro tuner, and this means it has potential synergy with Cooltoon if Cooltoon gets a level 1 that they can use for their hand synchro plays. I think it would be really cool to see these cards get high rarity upgrades in Rarity Collection 5 so that people who are already on Yummy can include them in their extra deck, and players who are adapting to new strategies have the option later down the line. Coming in at number 4, we have another double up that kind of reminds me of the Dominus cards inclusion on this list, and that's Fiendsmith Requiem and Fiendsmith Track. These were both also reprinted in the Megatin, but they also did have the dilemma where they were originally printed as secret rares, and Konami chose to reprint them in the Megatin again as secret rares. So while it did reduce the price of the cards a little bit, it didn't do as much as a reprint typically would in lowering the price overall. Fiendsmith Requiem is coming in at about $4, and Tracked is almost $15. And while those are definitely lower prices than what the cards were fetching before, these didn't even upgrade the rarity option for the player. And so my reason for including them on the list is twofold. First, because Fiendsmith I think will continue to see play in fringe decks and certain strategies throughout the course of the game, and also because, like I said, the initial reprint of these cards didn't give players a rarity upgrade. So getting a Starlight or getting a collector rare would be a draw for most people. And just like that, we are slithering our way into top 3 with some snakes. I have the prediction that we will see rarity upgrades for Mitsurugi staples in the Rarity Collection, despite the fact that they're going to be reprinted in a structure deck product in March. They are TCG exclusive cards for a TCG debut product. The Rarity Collection isn't coming out in OCG. It's a perfect home for a reprint for these cards. Mitsurugi has also been a core part of the metagame in various forms, whether it was combined with Ryzeal or played pure or now seeing play alongside Yummy. There are all different ways that this deck has been represented in the meta, and getting rarity upgrades in Rarity Collection 5 is a great way to pay homage to it. It also provides a financial incentive for Konami to include this in the product, because there will be many players adapting to the Mitsurugi strategy as a result of picking up the structure deck, and getting them to convert on this product by offering them a high rarity alternative to the cards that they've come to know and love in the structure deck is a great inroad for buyers on Rarity Collection 5. For my number 2 prediction, I'm still looking at the meta, but from a slightly different angle. I have Salamangreat Almirage on my list, and this is because it's a play enabler for both Yummy and Malice for suboptimal openers, and we see it in the extra deck in and out for both of these strategies. Many Yummy players are on this when they need to normal summon a Mulcharmy to insulate their plays and get into Cupsy Yummy way that way. It has one luxury printing from a Battles of Legends set as a secret rare, but that printing is steadily climbing in price and has broken the $10 mark. I think this card is unlikely to be banned, even though it's being used as a bridge in non-Salamangreat decks, because Konami doesn't like banning cards associated with anime characters. And for these reasons, I think we might see Salamangreat Almirage in Rarity Collection 5. It actually might be pretty likely. Before I get to my number 1 pick, I gotta know what you think. So write a comment and letting me know what you think might be in Rarity Collection 5 or what you're hoping for. And it's time. This is my number 1 pick for Rarity Collection 5, my most copium. I can't even say it with a straight face, guys. It's f***ing Blood Mephist. This card is so ungodly expensive. It hasn't been reprinted. It's a fun and silly generic Synchro level 8. There aren't a lot of fun and silly generic Synchro level 8s that are still legal, because generic Synchro 8s are pretty easy to make. And the new time rules prevent this card from being used for like endgame degeneracy when time is called, burning them out when they're trying to activate spells and traps proactively. And it's one of the YCS prize cards that hasn't been reprinted yet. I really wanted to play this card in Trickstar back in the day, but I couldn't justify making the purchase because I didn't think it was optimal at the time. And I don't think there's any other reason for Konami to gatekeep this card unless the art is licensed or something, and I just don't know it. But this is my number 1 wish, my number 1 hope for Rarity Collection 5. I know it's a competitive oriented set and this card probably won't see that much competitive play, but come on, it really needs a reprint, and it would be really cool to get like a Starlight or a collector rare Blood Mephist after all this time. And just like that, we're back where we began. I won't lie, Making this video got me really excited for the possible inclusions for Rarity Collection 5. I think there's a lot of cards out there that Konami could include that would make a lot of people happy, myself included. Wow, I said include a lot of times in that sentence. Thank you so much for watching. It's going to be a busy week of content with the upcoming Master Duel update, but I know that I'm going to be here for all of it, and I hope you will too. So I'll see you then. And at number 7, we have Retaliating C. Motherfucker, dude. If I have to say this line again, I'm going to kill myself.